Hello?
Hello? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So, how are
Mm,
you?
Oh, I have a problem. I have
With
many
your
homework.
homework.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know the answer.
okay.
Can you check for me, please?
Yeah,
Because I I have to give my homework to my teacher. No.
okay. So, you just have to, what do you call this? You just have to find the correct letter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So, we are going to discuss it here for a moment. Do you have your own copy, right?
Mm,
No.
Copy. Bird. Oh my God. Bird.
Hello?
Oh yeah. Okay. My dog.
Okay, for a moment before we proceed to your assignment, because I'm quite curious too. I read it and uh, yeah, I read it and I think that's quite hard. Your
Mm.
assignment is quite hard.
Hard with me or hard with you?
It's also hard for me too because yeah, no, not really hard. Yeah, but I think it's hard for you because there are a lot
Oh.
of new words, right? Can you
Oh.
see the words? All of the new words?
Mm, I,
Yeah.
I, I have heard this. I can search. I think it has a phrasal verb or idiom.
Uh-huh.
I don't. What? I read the first sentence. But let me remember.
But did you
The
understand the
pig
passage?
was the last animal to be domestically. The wild pig. I don't know what it means.
Okay, hold on. So let's see. Let's do your homework now. We are going to do your homework. Okay? Are you
Yeah.
okay? So hold on. So all right. Let me show you my screen. Yeah. I like your hair. I like short hair. I hope I can have short hair like that.
Oh, your hair long.
Yeah, I like long hair. Okay. So here, hold on. Okay, for a moment. I don't know how to. So let me see. All right. So what
So
the
oh,
passage here is? Yeah. Uh-huh.
um, mm, so you can answer me now. Let me say, and we
Mm-hmm.
can tomorrow. My assignment.
Uh, can you say again?
Mm, so my assignment, the answer will be checked tomorrow or
Now.
oh, thank you because I need it. I really need it now.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I have to give it to my teacher.
So again, let's read this. Hmm. All right, let's
Mm.
do this. Hold on. I cannot see our conversation. Oh, this one. Okay. So this one. Yeah, here. This is your book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this one. Hold on. Okay. Let's do this together. This is only number 5, right? Let me see your answer. Your answer is it's okay to do your homework because it's still a learning time. So that's okay. I already asked if that's okay, and
Oh,
they said it's
you
okay.
can check it later and we can start. Nothing.
Just for tonight, so that we can finish your assignment. But if we can finish your assignment as early, then we will continue in our books. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this is your answer. Hold on. Okay. So you have to understand first the context before. Do you need to pass this tomorrow?
Pass.
I mean, do you need to what do you call this? Do you need? I mean, the teacher will check your homework tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Morning.
time?
What? Oh. The what you call the third lesson tomorrow. But I can't use my phone at school. I don't have phone.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this one, domesticated. All right. So the pig was the last animal to be fully domesticated by the farmer. Do you know what is domesticated?
Make it really make me eat very.
You can use your What is domesticated?
This is
You can use your internet.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
I know this means
hmm So domesticated means uh-huh.
domestic. Yeah, I have translate it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Uh,
Okay. So the pig was the last animal to be fully kept by the farmer. Unlike the cow and the sheep, it is not a grass eater. So pig is not a grass eater. Its ancient home was the forest. So originally, its home is the forest, where it searched for different kind of foods, such as nuts, roots, and dead animals, and found in the bushes protection for its almost hairless body from extremes.
Harris,
Yes,
uh,
yes,
it don't have hair or
yeah. Have you seen a
uh,
pig before? Have you
yeah,
seen a pig before? Yeah.
yeah.
So, and found in the bush's protection for its almost hairless body from extremes of sun and cold. For many centuries, the farmer allowed it to continue there, leaving his pigs to look after themselves most of the time. So the pig only take good care of themselves because there's no farmers who takes care of them before.
Oh,
As the woodlands began to shrink, the pig slowly began to be kept on the farm itself. But it did not finally come into a shed where where it was fed on waste food from the farm and the house until the 18th century. The pig then became a farm animal in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, but it was given a little attention by special animal breeders, for the major farmers of the time preferred to develop the larger kinds of animals. So they give less attention because uh, the the farmers prefer to focus on the larger kinds of animals. There were, however, various less well-known farmers interested in pigs, and they based their improvements on new types of pig from overseas. These were the Chinese pig and its various relatives, including the Neapolitan pig, which were descended from Chinese pig that had found their way to the Mediterranean in ancient time. So, do you know what is descended? Do you know what is descendant?
mm,
Mm.
or and dog. Let me check on Google. Descendant.
So,
The next descendant. Oh, what? It is the next generation.
okay. Tell me,
Oh,
how did you understand descendant? Uh-huh.
let me check. It turned out.
Yes, very good. It's like from higher to lower place. So pig, Neapolitan pig, which were descendant from Chinese pigs that had found their way to the Mediterranean in ancient times. These were very different from the thin and leggy British woodland pigs. They were wider and squarer, with shorter legs and flatter faces, and they matured earlier and produced more delicate meat. By the end of the 18th century, these overseas pigs had influenced the color, shape, and characteristics of the native British pig a great deal. In early 19th century, all sorts and conditions of pig farmer worked at improving all sorts of and conditions of pig. Many of the special pigs they developed are now forgotten, but by the end of the century they had established most of the kinds we know in Britain today. So yeah, so some of their developed pigs were forgotten, but there are kinds of pig that remains until now. The pigs that we eat nowadays. Do you know the pigs that we eat
What,
now?
what, what, you know, flat to face. What is it?
Uh-huh. Can you say it again?
Flat face. What is mean?
Fatty face. Like a fat face. That is fatty face. Did you understand? Fatty
The
face,
big face.
a big face, fat. Like a fat face. This one, flatter faces.
Um,
Okay, so I'm
let, let,
gonna show
no,
you
no, oh, okay,
uh,
okay.
flatter
Mm.
faces. Pig. Alright, look at the flutter faces of pigs. This one.
The big face.
Yeah, this one, the ugly but big
Oh,
face. Yeah, this is the flutter.
okay.
Okay, so let's continue. So let's answer. Oh, I cannot see the number one.
Oh, the next picture.
Okay, now I can see it now. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the original wild state, pigs ate the same food as other
No,
animals.
I think the answer is C because mm, do you read the answer C? C?
Your answer is letter
Yeah,
C.
because pig live in the Pacific. They said pig live in forest, so it lives among trees.
Yeah, because as we read here before, they live they lived in the forest. Right? It's not. Oh, its ancient home was the forest. So they lived among the trees. Right?
Uh,
They not wandered across the plains. They not did. This is not true. So I think for me too, your answer for letter number one is letter C. I think it's correct.
okay.
It lived among the trees. All right, so number two, why were pigs not fully domesticated in Britain until the 18th century? Your answer is letter A.
Yeah,
They could find food for themselves well enough in woodlands. There was no suitable food for them on most farms.
yeah. In the Pacific, two paragraph, the second paragraph.
Mhm. The second paragraph, okay. The pig then became a farm animal in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, but it was given little attention by special animal breeders, for the major farmers of the time preferred to develop the larger kinds of animals. Mhm. Okay, for this one, for this one, I want to answer letter A and letter C. But why were pigs not fully domesticated in Britain until the 18th century? Okay. Oh, let's see this. The pig was the last animal to be fully domesticated by the farmer. Unlike the cow and the sheep, it is not a grass eater. Oh, yeah. Your answer is correct. So, they could find food for themselves well enough in woodlands.
Yeah. It
Mhm.
is only grass, so I think it's only in on the pasture.
Because most of the farmers get those animals that can be fed easily, like cows and goats. Are you familiar with goats?
Goat,
Uh-huh. Like
goat.
calves.
The sheep.
No, the goat.
For what is it? Oh,
No,
let
no,
us
no.
type. Is it
Oh, hold on, hold on. Okay, as you can see here, again, why were pigs not fully domesticated in Britain until the 18th century? All right, so farmers eat ancient over the forest where it searched for different kinds of food that animals and found the bushes protection for its almost hairless body extremes. For many centuries, the farmer allowed it to continue there, leaving his pigs to look after themselves most of the time. As the woodlands began to shrink, the pigs slowly began to kept on the prey, not finally coming into where it was fed on waste food from the farm and the house, where it was fed and waste food until the 18th century. Agricultural improvement. The pig then became a farm animal in the age of agriculture improvement in Britain in the 18th century, but it was given little attention. Hmm, Age of agricultural improvement in Britain. The pig then became a farm animal in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, but it was given little attention by special animal breeders, for the major farmers of the time preferred to develop the larger kinds of animal. Hmm Okay, hold on. Okay, in number two, why were pigs not fully domesticated in Britain until the 18th century? Mhm.
so? Let's
Okay,
A is
your answer is letter A, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh. They could find food for themselves well enough. Okay. Okay, because I'm not really sure, but I'm confused with letter A and letter C. Because it was difficult to develop improved types of pig. Because uh, pigs is the last no 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 pig is the last animal they were domesticated, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, I'm confused with number two, so just leave it here for a while. So let's just continue. The passage tells us that in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, your answer is letter B. British types of pig were replaced with overseas ones.
Yeah. This is
Uh-huh.
category place. Yeah.
British types of pig were replaced with overseas ones. So let's here is there were, however, various less well-known farmers interested in pigs, and they based their improvements on new types of pig from overseas. These were Chinese pig and its various relatives, including pigs were descended. Wait, these were okay. Okay, so your answer is letter B. British types of pig were replaced with overseas ones. Yeah, hold on. Let me read it again. Nagbasa lang ako for assignment. The then became a farm animal in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, but it was given little attention by special animal breeders. There were, however, various less well-known. They based their improvement on new types of pig from overseas. This where the Chinese. Oh, yeah. So your answer is quite good too. The passage tells us that in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, British types of pig were placed with overseas ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you? How about the letter C? Pigs received less attention than other animals. Do you consider that? Can you? Do you consider that answer?
Less
The
attention, less attention. Is do you think the right answer is letter C?
But I'm scared. The passage tell us that in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, pigs received less attention than other animals. Because as you can see here, the pig then became a farm animal in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, but it was given a little attention by special animal breeders, for the major farmers of the time preferred to develop the larger kinds of animal. There were, however, various less well-known farmers interested in pigs, and they based their improvements on new types of pig from overseas. For me, it's not. It's number letter B and letter C. Mhm. The passage tells us that in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, British. All right, I'll go with letter B too. All right, so let's move number 4. The word descendant in paragraph 2 is the closest in meaning to.
Sorry. You said that your answer for number 3 is letter C.
Yeah, I check it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I'm really confused. For number 2, I want to answer letter C. And on number 3, I want to answer number letter C too, but I'm just not quite sure because it's two things that it was said in the Britain Britain improvement. The British types of pig were placed with overseas ones, and pigs received less attention than other animals. So it's only one answer. They need only one, not two.
Yeah, not true.
Okay, so let's just move on. So yeah, for me, your answer in number 1 and number 3 is good for me. So, but number 2, I'm not yet sure. All right, so number 4, the word
What?
descended. What is descended for you?
What? So that,
Uh-huh.
I don't know the meaning of the original originated.
Okay, so your answer is originated. Originated.
I don't know. I just put the coin and choose another.
Mm-hmm. Hold
One.
on. Okay.
Is it correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh. For me, it's originated too. Because look at this. hold on. These were the Chinese pig and its various relatives, including the Neapolitan pig, which were descended from Chinese pigs that had found their way to the Mediterranean in ancient times. So my answer is originated. My answer is originated, so it's correct. All right, for number 5, how did Chinese and Neapolitan pigs differ from native British pigs? Okay, it has here. Mhm. So, these were very different from the thin and leggy British woodland pigs. They were wider and squarer. Hold on. Wider, squarer, and with shorter legs. With shorter legs. Okay, so this one. Noses. So your answer is they had stronger legs?
Yeah, because it says in the
Uh-huh.
can see that what the Chinese has shorter legs and
Mm-hmm.
I think the British is stronger.
Mm-hmm. So
Can you
this
move on the next picture?
okay. So hold on. These were the Chinese pig and its various Mediterranean in ancient times. These were very different from thin and leggy British woodland pigs. They were wider and squarer with shorter legs and flatter face, and they matured earlier, produced more delicate meat. So the option here is they were taller, they had stronger legs, they had shorter noses, they were rounder. They were rounder, wider and squarer. Rounder, wider and squarer, with shorter legs and flatter faces. hmm Okay, so my answer
Yeah.
is letter D.
Oh,
Yeah, they,
round.
yeah.
Can you show me how why you choose this restaurant?
Oh, for me, they were rounder. Okay, again, how did Chinese and Neapolitan pigs differ from native British pigs? So let's read it. So here, there were, however, various less well-known farmers interested in pigs, and they based their improvements on new types of pig from overseas. These were the Chinese pig and its various relatives, including the Neapolitan pig, which were descended from Chinese pigs that had found their way to the Mediterranean in ancient times. These were very different from the thin, small, and leggy British woodland pigs. Thin and leggy British woodland
So
pigs. I,
let me I don't know
leggy.
if you
Okay, hold
let
on.
me put
Let me show you.
Oh, the long leg.
Uh-huh. Pig. This one. Can you see? This is like pig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So hold on. Again, these were very different from the thin and leggy British woodland pigs. They were wider and squarer with shorter legs and flatter faces, and they matured earlier and produced more delicate meat. hmm Yeah. So, yeah, for me, they were rounder. Do you want to
Run,
copy that answer? Or do you want to
run,
stick?
run the. Okay, let me check. Run, run,
Uh-huh.
run.
Look at the photo.
Oh, more round.
Yeah, rounder peak. This one. Do you want to copy this answer or do you want to stick with your answer?
Okay. Yeah. I think it's the.
Do you want
I'm not sure which thing, so I will follow with this
to?
thing.
Okay, so I think it's letter D. All right, so number two. Let's go back to number two. Why were pigs not fully domesticated in Britain until the 18th century? They could find food for themselves well enough in woodlands. Your answer is that letter A. There was no suitable food for them on most farms. It was difficult to develop improved types of pig. It was difficult to develop improved types of pig. They did not grow well when kept indoors. So why were pigs not fully domesticated in Britain until the 18th century? Mhm. So are you sure with letter A now?
I'm not sure because I think C is correct, but you must choose one letter.
Yeah, the pig was the last animal to be fully domesticated by the farmer. Unlike the cow and the sheep, it is not a grass eater. Its ancient home was the forest, where it searched for different kinds of food, such as nuts, roots, and dead animals, and found in the bushes protection for its almost hairless body from extremes of sun and cold. For many centuries, the farmer allowed it to continue there, leaving his pigs to look after themselves most of the time. As the woodlands began to shrink, the pig slowly began to be kept on the farm itself, but it did not finally come into a shed, where it was fed on waste food from the farm and the house until the 18th century. The pig then became a farm animal in the age of agricultural improvement in Britain in the 18th century, but it was given little attention by special animal breeders, for the major farmers of the time preferred to develop the larger kinds of animal. There were, however, various less well-known farmers interested in pigs, and they based their improvements on new types of pig from overseas. Yeah, I saw it now. Yeah, I saw the answer for this one. Letter yeah, three. It's really B. So for number two, why were pigs not fully domesticated in Britain in the 18th century? They could find food for themselves well enough. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think number two is good too. Letter A. So let's go to this because answering letter C is too risky. Because they don't develop yet. It was still in retain. All right, so I'll go with letter A, number two.
Okay.
Okay, so the only answer that changed is letter five.
And Alex and okay.
Letter D. Actually,
No, number three. Number three. Do you
no.
have that? Answer is
Okay.
C, not D.
All right, okay, hold on. So I'm gonna tell you what. Number two and number three, I want to answer letter C. But for me, number two and number three, I want to answer letter C. But you have to decide for your own if which answer do you want to proceed to let your teacher check for your homework. All right. So,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. So
So
my
let's check the letter. The last time one is C, two A. 3, C,
Okay.
4, D, 5, D. Is it?
Again, number 1 is letter C. Number
Yeah,
2 is letter A. Number
yeah.
3 is letter B. Number 4 is letter D. Number 5 is letter C. Oh, no. Number 5 is letter D.
Okay.
Right. But originally for me, I want to answer C. C. I want to answer this. Oh, no. Just let it and let me know what is the correct answer or if you got the correct answer. All right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So just follow follow what you want to answer and then let me know. Let me know if you got the highest score or what score did you get. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So what time do you need to to submit to your teacher?
Okay, I will answer. What is the correct answer?
All right. So do you have any questions?
Yeah.
You don't have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, are you ready to continue in our class? We will just have a short class.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, since is this the first time you have difficulty with your homework?
No. This time,
Uh-huh.
this is the first time I ask you.
Yeah, but did you ask the previous teachers? Have you asked your previous teachers before?
No, she is in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
asked my friends that several times they give me the incorrect answer. So
Oh, really? But do they also, if they give you incorrect answers, um, wait, so they are wrong too?
yeah.
Oh, really? So now let's continue. Our last topic is happiness. Hold on, is this your English? Is this your English class too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let's continue. Okay, where are we now? Oh, so we are done in the happiness. We will now move to next one. Oh, I found this looks like rounder. Look at this. A rounder pig. Do you
Oh,
eat pork?
yeah.
Really? Do you like how what kind of pork do you like to eat? I mean, do you like soup or fried pork?
Oh, I like the ones. They cook,
Mm-hmm.
they cook the corn. Let me show you.
Bone cook. Oh, I like it too. I like bone. Like I'm gonna eat it like this.
This is let me show you.
Okay. All right. So can you see this?
Oh yeah. Okay. Rib, the rib. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
like it.
Ribs. Yeah, ribs. I like it too. It's very yummy.
Yeah,
All right. So our next topic is about chocolate. Can you please read this?
chocolate,
Uh-huh. Again, repeat after me. Chocolate.
chocolate.
Oh, sorry. Do you like eating chocolate?
Yeah,
Really?
it's the yeah it is the reason. No, in the when I was small, it's the reason make me fat.
Yeah.
Now I don't eat chocolate.
Really, you don't eat chocolate anymore?
Yeah,
Oh, but what?
it is the it is the main reason why I don't like sweet.
Oh, yeah, I
because
remember.
I eat too much.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So you don't eat chocolate, but have you tried eating chocolate before?
try.
But have you tried eating chocolate before?
Yeah.
Oh, and what was your favorite chocolate
Oh, the black chocolate
before? Uh-huh.
is what it's a kind of cake.
Ah, like
No, it's a
chocolate.
kind of biscuit. Biscuit.
Lutugmagi. Ay, katong
It's chocolate biscuit.
biscuit. All right, yeah, biscuit. Yeah, like a biscuit. Oh, why biscuit?
Oh, because mm, I cannot. I don't like cake, chocolate cake because I don't like the cream.
Mm-hmm. All
It's
right.
too sweet.
Yes, me too. Before, I really like eating chocolate, but it came a day that I really don't like it. It came to a point that I don't like eating chocolate anymore because it's too sweet and I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Anne, it's already our time, so we will just continue our class tomorrow. All right.
Oh,
Mm,
okay.
okay. So, see you tomorrow, Anne, and good luck with your homework. All right. Let me know what happened. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, thank you for tonight, Anne. See you tomorrow. Good night.
See you.